Hello, everybody. Drill of the week number 2. So this week I've jumped into the drill library and we're going to look at a small-sided game. This one exploiting wide areas and with an objective of can we utilise overloads in wide areas. But dead simply, it's probably a 4v4 or a 5v5 in the middle of the pitch. And we've got 2 wide men who are playing for both teams in possession, so magic men, jokers, whatever you like to call them. Just going to click play so this starts to play. But like I say, it's a small-sided game, so there's lots and lots we can coach in any small-sided game. But I'll quickly jump into the setup before we talk about coaching points. So in terms of size, I would say just size to suit your players. I would probably work off a 20 length and a 30 width. Doesn't quite show it in the animation here, but I'd want to make it wider than it is long because we're really looking to draw out those coaching points of playing wide and allowing more success in those wide areas. So we allow more space in those wide areas to let the coaching points come through. We can always play with the space if it becomes too easy, but as I've said previously, start bigger and work it in just to make sure that the players are comfortable. In terms of numbers, you can do any numbers you want in a drill like this. It could be 6v6, it could be 7v7. Generally, you've probably only got sort of 12 to 14 players at training normally. So I've done a 5v5 plus 2 because 12 players feels about right. Again, like I say, you can adapt. I tend to go for one-touch finish. I do get some criticism sometimes, say that's not realistic to a game, but I think it's really realistic to a game because most goals are scored off a one-touch finish. So I try to replicate that in my training sessions as much as possible. And we've got mini goals in the animation, but again, you can use poles, you can use cones, whatever equipment you've got to be able to allow a goal scoring opportunity. And I've got 2 goals on each side just because, again, I really like to do that. And I've moved the goals towards the wide areas. So we get lots and lots of reward for exploiting those wide overloads in those wide areas. I love high scoring games. I love reward, unless I'm working with a out of possession team, but I'm working in possession for this specific drill. So coaching points, like I say, there's lots and lots you can coach in a small sided game. Specifically, I'm working with the in possession teams in this drill, and I always like coaches to either specify, are you working with the out of possession team or in possession team, so you can be really hyper focused on what coaching points you're trying to land during that exercise or session. I'm specifically working on things like timing. So I'll be looking for us to try and manipulate the defending team to one side. So if they're a good organised defensive unit, they're going to move over to the ball side if we're out wide. Can we shorten up our passes in that area to really draw those guys in to one side of the pitch? And then from a timing perspective, can we time that right so we can receive and switch out to the other side where we should have more space and be able to progress because we're going around the block, okay? We always want to try and play through if we can. If we can play centrally because that's the most direct route to goal. But in this tight area and in this scenario, we're probably going to have to draw players to one side and then go and exploit the other side. But the timing of that is really, really important. And the players' understanding of the timing of that is really important as well. So are the players trying to manipulate the defending team into one area with a shorter passing range, drawing them across, and then quickly at pace, big switch to get out the other side and progress? There's deception in there as well. Deception sounds like an aggressive word, but we're deceiving the opposition in thinking that we're going to play down one side, drawing them across. They're thinking we're being predictable, but we are being unpredictable in the sense that then we're going out the other side and progressing, as I've just said. Scanning is always something we're looking for in these tight areas. So from a scanning perspective, what information are we taking in as players? We're not just checking our shoulder quickly just so the coach sees that and thinks that I've scanned. What information are you taking in as a player, and what information can you relay to your teammates or can you act on for yourself? And specifically from a scanning perspective here, I'd be looking for, are we aware of the position of our wide players? and the availability of those wide players, and can we find space within this small-sided game to then exploit that opportunity? So I've drawn my players across, I've drawn the opposition team across. I'm aware that my left-sided winger now is free and is in space. I can see them. I'm dropping off into a little bit of a deeper position with an open body shape because I know my next action is to receive on my back foot and go left. Okay, so am I taking in the information around the game, or am I giving that information to another player because I'm not in the right position to do it, but I can see somebody else is in a much better position than I am to go and execute that switch of play. And technique, finally, as well. So I've just spoken about there. Can we receive, if we are looking to execute this switch, and the switch of play is really what I'm trying to get out of this small-sided game, right? And us exploiting those wide areas. So if I've, from a technical perspective, are players, one, getting into a position to do it, but also when they are, have they got an open body so they can receive on their back foot to then play wide in very few touches? So if you receive on your back foot, you should be able to play wide with your next touch because it's a receive on the back foot and pass. So that's in 2 touches. Once we've drawn the opposition across, I've scanned, I know what position my teammates are in, what position the opposition are in. I've dropped into a little bit of space. I've opened my body up. I've received on my back foot from the opposite side winger. And then with my next touch, I can pass out to the left winger to then go and exploit the wide area. That sort of detail is what I'm looking for. You will see players come with a closed body position. They've got to take 1, 2 touches. The press is on all of a sudden and the opportunity disappears. Yeah, so that's a small-sided game. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your comments. How would you evolve it? And how would you change this drill to suit your needs? Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.